And they took her back into the back scenes of the hospital. And very shortly after that, they said they were going to have to look at giving Helen an early childbirth. I couldn't believe it. Helen had at least stopped seizing, but for that moment I was still caught up with that emotion of seeing her on the floor and feeling that I was going to lose her there and then in that moment. And then the prospect of having my child 3 months earlier than we were expecting, I didn't quite know what to think. When Elijah was first brought out in the incubator and wheeled past me, I had about 30 seconds to just gaze down on him, and I'm ashamed to admit my first reaction was one of horror.
He was a very hungry baby, very nosy baby. Even before he came out to special baby care, he was lifting his head, which normally newborns don't do straight away. He was nosy, he wanted to have a look at the nurses. General development was relatively normal, particularly considering he was so premature. He was about to be dismissed from the paediatrician at 18 months old. We mentioned that his fist wasn't opening, and very matter-of-factly the doctor said that will be his cerebral palsy. One night he was unwell. I didn't know at that point what was wrong. His pillow was covered in phlegm and vomit, a little bit of blood in it.
I went in to find her in Elijah's room, and Helen said, "John, will you get me the phone?" So I went and got the phone and wondered who she would ring. And as she was dialing, I realised it was just 3 digits. And at that moment, I felt my stomach drop, just like it did that moment that she fell from the bench in an accident and emergency.
But it turned out that he'd had a massive seizure, and shortly after that he was diagnosed with epilepsy.
I was quite reticent at first to have a second child. In the end, he was born by caesarean section as well, but the experience was completely different. I heard his cries as he came out.
There were no issues, no mental disability, no physical disability. Everything went smooth the second time. And even though the doctors were saying, "You've done everything right," I still used to beat myself up and, "No, could have done things better, am I a bad mum?" Then when his brother was born, he was born full term, he was a good healthy weight, and that actually helped me to see that it was just what happened. It was nothing that I'd done.
Our youngest's development was just like a normal child as well. He was a normal child, but it showed us a lot of our parenting and a lot of the decisions and things that we had made weren't to blame for Elijah's development. He's got such a joy in life that he's not really aware that he has limitations. He's going to be a happy toddler forever, as long as he lives.